longer than it should have.
Go to what?
Go to, get out of the screen and go to another. There's going to be a different post now.
Council attended. They're hiding behind a lot of COVID stuff, and they're just, so even when I was in there, I couldn't hear anybody speak. It's kind of a mess. And then a buddy of mine, Ron Roberts, went back this past Monday to talk about the subject. He had even a worse time. And only he got to speak, but he was exactly at the end.
So tell them real quick too, when they went back in, they were told there was not even a meeting, correct?
That's true. Ron was told, no, there isn't a meeting tonight. And the security folks were great. It was just a circus. And no, there's not going to be any of that. We're not going to address the issue you heard talk about. No, you can't talk. Again and again, there was two of them down there. They had one slip instead of two. It was just a fiasco. It went on for 3 hours, 3.5 hours.
Wow. So when you were down there, Jim, your goal was to talk the facts, not emotions, just the facts. And you went through and you really laid it out how their argument is based on falsehoods, and they have put the police on this. The things they've been saying, it just weren't true. Tell us a little bit about some of the things you talked about down there.
Yeah, I was just dispelling their falsehoods. Ginther had said that there had been countless black men shot and killed by police officers, and that wasn't true at all. There was actually 7 black suspects fatally shot in 2016, 4 in 17, 5 in 18, 1 in 19. All of those individuals were armed and threatening and resisting. So what it came down to is factually 0% of the individuals had any chance of being shot by cops if they were not armed and if they were not threatening.
So that's a pretty good stat.
I thought so.
Pretty good. Now, I did the math on that since I was a math major. Okay. You said, Jim, that there was approximately 600,000 to 800,000 encounters or calls every year. And for a 5-year period, that'd be 5. So I took an average, 5 times 700,000. So that was 3,500,000 encounters or calls, okay, in a 5-year period. And you said that 19 black suspects have been fatally shot in that 5-year period of time. I did the math, and that works out to, and I think I got this right, but I've been away from school for a long time. It is 54 10,000%. 54 10,000% of the number. All right? I mean,
you got to watch your back.
Yeah, I mean, and anybody who knows math better than me maybe can kind of expand on that, but that's what I was coming up with.
And Jim, it's like what you said, and that line I took here from what you said, I loved it. It says, Mayor Ginther, you will be pleased to learn that in those 4 years, if you were not armed and threatening, the odds of a black suspect being fatally shot by Columbus police was 0.
Correct.
So what are they talking about?
What are they talking about?
That's the whole idea. It's all about the facts. They don't want to talk about facts. These are the facts of Columbus. They can go and talk about facts in some other city that I don't have the control over finding the facts on. But right here, we obviously don't have the problem. And it gets right back to the fact the only incident they bring up and have brought up over the past several weeks has been apparently the worst case of abuse we've ever had in the city of Columbus involving the shooting of Henry Green. The facts, though, in Henry Green's case are that Henry Green shot at our police officers, 2 officers, 6 times. 5 hit the door that one was behind. 1 hit the headrest that an officer had just bailed out of the car and was sitting in. He was shooting a .45 caliber, a stolen .45 caliber pistol.
No.
And so it begs the question, if this is the poster child for abuse, then how many times, with the reforms and the reimagining of policing, how many times do you actually have to shoot at an officer before they can return fire?
Before it's justified.
I love that statement because I would say that too countless times. What are they wanting the police officer to actually do? Wait until you're shot at before you shoot?
How long ago was the Henry Green case?
A few years back. I've got the paperwork right here. Division of Police, and it was it was the form was filed. It was June 6, 2016 at 6:10 p.m.
So that's the last fact
Wow.
That's the last fact that they have that they can hang their hat on.
And it's a false narrative.
It's false, yeah.
Well, yeah, I understand that.
Right.
Why is Ginther and the city council lying to the people? Why isn't he holding up going, look, I know other cities have their problem, but here in Columbus, this is a model police force. I mean, he should be sitting there using this as an example of how to do it with the training and the selection of our officers.
Does not fit their agenda.
Well, let's face
But
it.
the agenda should be, hey, guys, this is how you do it. So, I mean, seriously, the best case scenario is someone who with a stolen 45 fired 6 shots at police officers.
But he was a nice guy, though.
Oh, yeah.
He was a nice
I saw
guy.
his 4th grade picture. He was
Yeah, he
smiling,
was a
looking
nice
really,
guy.
really cute. Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is, it makes zero sense. I mean, well, I guess
They're
it makes zero
appeasing.
sense
They're
that he's the
appeasing to
mayor.
the 1%. That's
You're right.
all it is. It's the 1% that they're appeasing to, and they're hoping that those are the ones that are going to reelect them.
You're right.
It's got nothing
You're
to
right.
do with what the truth is.
So,
not
so it's about
reassuring the
votes.
people.
It's really about votes.
Yes.
Trying to stay in office.
It is.
Yep.
It is 100% about votes.
Guys, before we go to break, I know Mary's been holding for a few here. If you're still there, Mary, you're on with OnTarget. How are you?
Well, thanks. How are you? And thanks for your great program. I had a couple issues, but I have a friend who is black, and I understand that his mother doesn't sleep at night because she has 3 black sons that she's deathly afraid of because of the police pulling them over for no reason. And I was wondering if you could speak to that issue, and then over-policing of the hood, so to speak. I've heard that too.
Sure.
That, they just go there purposely because there's black people there and want to over-police them. So,
Right. Yeah, no,
does
certainly.
that all make sense?
Sure, certainly, Mary, we can speak to that, and I definitely appreciate the call. Jim, I'll tell you,
Sure.
and we said this recently in a posting, that if somebody is pulling a gun on me, I don't care what race, religion, gender, binary, non-binary, canine, whatever they choose to identify with that time of day, I'm focusing on the threat.
Right.
Yep.
And it has nothing to do with any of those. Talk about that. I mean, have you ever been a part of, let's go out and pull over some Mexican guy or a black guy today?
No, but I'll tell you something though. Her friend's misperception is tragic, and she probably really believes it because she's been told that so long. Now it's a flaw. It's not actually the case. Like I tell my kids, I tell all my friends. I don't have black and white friends. I just have friends. But I tell my friends, if you get stopped by a police officer, have your hands where you can see them. Don't argue with them. You want to take it to court or whatever. If you think you've been improperly treated, call in a complaint. Do that after the fact. Just comply. We've never had a case that I have found around Central Ohio where someone has been shot and killed, even though the mantra's out there, that have complied. If you comply and you have a grievance, take it to the authorities after the fact. If the officer did something improper, I hope they are sanctioned. I hope they're disciplined.
Amen.
And we don't need that kind of behavior.
Right.
But it's unfortunate that people have been told, and now their children are being told, that cops are out there hunting them and pulling them over and doing the, because I was there 33 years, I know it's not true.
Right. And, we did a couple weeks ago, we talked about a group called policebrutality.org, I believe it is. And this is an organization that a lot of the big media reference as far as, look at this police brutality. And I went to go look at it. I thought maybe I'm missing something, right? And we pulled up 2015 stats. And their title of that report that year was, in 2015, 100 unarmed black people were killed by police. And I thought, wow, maybe there is something here. Maybe I'm missing something. I'm in my own little bubble, right? They gave every example that accounted for the 100. And I started to read through it, and I'm like, okay, wait a second. This isn't making sense. Out of the 100, 10 to 15 were unarmed as they were trying to get the officer's gun. Well, that's justified. Another 10 to 15 were pointing a fake gun at the officers, intimidating them, trying to get a reaction from them. That's justified.
Yep, shame on them.
Another 10 were in car chases out of felonies, and they crashed their car and died. But those were unarmed black people killed by the police. And then my favorite one, and these were in their stats.
I like this one.
5 people that year, black people, had stepped off the curb or were in the street, and when a responding officer to a total incident that had nothing to do with them, they were hit and killed, and that went down as 5 more black people killed by the police this year, and they were unarmed. it's bogus. It doesn't add up. And that's the mantra. I mean, if you don't look into it,
it's out of control. And speaking to the last caller, Mary, as far as over policing, in my career, and I had several years as a supervisor, we'd have our staff meetings, and the chief would bring up notices that he's gotten complaints about speeders or people running around the neighborhood at night going through cars, and he would get to a specific area, and he expected us as supervisors to direct our patrolmen into those areas during those times to over police, if you want to call it that. And I'm sure your friend whose mother is saying that they're over policing, it's only because the good people of that neighborhood want the police there and are calling the police to come over there and give the over policing to stop the crime that her sons may be getting involved with, or she's afraid they're going to get involved with. That's the facts, and I'm sure it was the same way in Columbus. Am I wrong, Jim?
No, it's exactly right. You go to where the crime is, and unfortunately, some of these areas have more crime than others. You're not going to take all your officers and all your resources and go to where there's no crime.
Exactly.
It makes no sense.
Exactly.
Right.
I was glad. When Ed was saying that, what I thought about too is how many house checks did we perform when people were gone as a courtesy or as part of what we do? And, walk around the house, got out in the rain, in the snow, cold, and walked around their house and checked the house out while they were gone. That's all the things that we did. Right.
And that was just the course. You didn't think twice about it.
No.
That's just what you did.
But that's over policing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I guess that's
incredible.
where we're wrong.
When we come back from the break, we're going to get to a couple other topics. Jim, we're going to talk about the Citizens Review Board that we hear so much about, and also the demilitarizing of police. And our vice president, former vice president, who is a presidential candidate, we'll see what he had to say this week about demilitarizing the police. We're on target. We're broadcasting live from the studios of LAPD Firearms and Range. We'll be right back after the break. That's all right. We're good.
You got it. Yeah. Celebration Kia, come on. We gonna celebrate and have a good time. It's the all-new Celebration Kia, where you get a great deal on a new car and have a good time. This week, bring us any trade and get up to a $6,000 discount off any new Kia in stock. Lease a new 2020 Kia Soul for just $79 per month. That's 39 months with just $49.95 at inception.
Yep.
Worried about your credit? Get pre-qualified risk-free without affecting your credit score at CelebrationKia.com.
Okay.
Don't miss
I'll catch him towards the end.
with any trade. Only at Celebration Kia on Route 23 in Lewis Center.
All right.
24/7
I know, Jonathan.
CelebrationKia.com. Discount includes all factory rebates. Negative equity refinance. Qualified applicants. 36-month lease. $49.95 at inception. 10,000 miles annually. No security deposit. Expires 7/31/2020.
Your ABC6 first warning weather for today. Lots of sunshine, breezy and warm, high of 87. Tonight, few clouds, pleasant temps though, low of 68. Sunday, mix of sun and clouds with scattered showers and storms likely, high of 86. It is currently 79 degrees on your severe weather station, News Radio 610 WTVN.
Down to Georgia, he was looking for a soul to steal. He was in a bind because he was way behind and he was willing to make a deal. When he came across this young man sawing on a fiddle and playing it hot, and the devil jumped up on a hickory stump and said, "Boy, let me tell you what. I guess you didn't know it, but I'm a fiddle player too."
Welcome back to On Target.
I'll make a bet with you.
Papa, how have you never heard that?
How did you not know that was Charlie Daniels?
Why'd you cut off Ed? He was singing. He was rapping to that.
Hit the wrong button, all right? There's more to life than Neil Diamond and Elton John.
No, I take offense to that.
They're actually my top two on my playlist,
Okay,
too.
all
So,
right.
welcome back to On Target. I'm your host, Eric. Joined today in this studio set up here at LAPD Firearms and Range with my good friend Big Ed, sits to my right. JC, who's been with us since, T-minus 6 months before the store even opened.
6 months before.
Sits right here as well. My father and co-owner, who I've known a few years. Yeah. And our good friend Jim Scanlon, who's sitting here, who has just been out there, a voice of reason, a voice of facts. Jim,
And a brother in blue.
And a brother in blue. Talk about, we're hearing a lot about this. We need a citizens review board. And just to show you I can't even find words for what they proposed on this citizens review board. Did you see, Ed, who was on this board that they're proposing?
No, I did not.
The attorneys who represented the killer for the 2 officers in Westerville.
Oh, well, sure. Hey, he should be there.
Yeah. Right. So, Jim, talk about Citizens Review Board. Right. Has Columbus had a Citizens Review Board?
Yeah, we actually have had one for a very long time, and the grand jury is the ultimate Citizens Review Board. They've talked about in different towns having Citizen Review Board, people who really don't have much knowledge about police work, of course, but to get involved in sanctioning and determining the innocence or guilt of an officer. First, I don't know. I took one course in college in public policy. It was an easy course. I knew I could pass it. That's why I did. But I know the first thing the instructor said was, before you ever start a conversation on what public policy you're going to go with, you have to show a need. And my premise is there has been no need shown. If they came to us and said, here, we've got 100 cases of this abuse or abuses of force that were covered up, or that internal affairs didn't do this properly, or the grand jury was faulty, or the prosecutor's office was faulty, and these people are falling through the cracks, and there's bad officers out there because they're not, then we'd probably look at it if it was fact-based. But there is no facts to back up their proposed need for a citizen review board.
And what goes to the grand jury?
Well, all police-involved shootings ending in death, any death, in custody death, any other case that they would like to throw to the grand jury, they're capable of throwing to the grand jury. If they think there was a use of force that was egregious, certainly they can do that.
Wow. And
so if they get a citizens review board to come out against the grand jury, they think the citizen review board is going to overrule what the grand jury comes up with?
Do we really think that's their goal, though? Or is their goal to see how many cops they can get indicted and sanctioned and fired? Because it's only going to be, everyone on that board is going to be, and I think the panel that you just referred to is going to be the one selecting the citizen review board.
Oh, it's okay.
And so they're all like-minded.
Right.
And they're going to pick other like-minded individuals. And I didn't see anybody on there that I would consider to be pro-police.
Now, would you
I
say
don't think there's any
like-minded, you mean cop haters?
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
Let's say it
it's
like
true,
it
though.
is.
You are so straightforward.
Well, let's state it like it is.
Just tell like it is, Ed. Don't sugarcoat it.
I'm not going to sugarcoat it.
All right.
So let's also talk about something that's been out there a lot, the demilitarization of police. And actually, our candidate for the president, this guy you'd hold in high esteem, he's running for the highest office here in our country, came out this week and said the police don't need these Humvees. They don't need to be going into our communities. They have become the enemy. That should go good for campaign.
So Biden, you can watch it.
Tell John
coming out of his own mouth.
And now, in defense of Joe Biden, CNN said that all that was taken out of context.
Tell John Smith they didn't need the armored vehicle, right?
Well, that's right.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So talk for a second about this falsehood that you have. Do you have hand grenades out there? Are you using those?
No, unlike what some council members referred to our armored vehicle as a tank.
Right.
A tank is actually, and they could readily find this information out. They could ask me. They could ask any of the rank and file.
No, we're just confused what their agenda is.
Yeah. So armored vehicles are defensive and in nature. They de-escalate situations, because if you're in that and you're evacuating the citizens from adjoining houses on a barricade, hostage situation, or whatever, that we take rounds on that armored vehicle all the time. So does the county's unit. All the armored vehicles around Central Ohio have saved hundreds and hundreds of lives. They are not an offensive weapon. We don't launch ordnance from them. We don't shoot grenades, and we don't, So they can actually de-escalate a situation, because if you are shot at in an armored vehicle, you don't necessarily have to fire back. The same thing with wearing camouflage. Well, it looks too military. Well, the fact is we went to camouflage because folks who are gunmen who are randomly shooting out of a window or trying to target someone out there, if they cannot target us because they can't see us as well, we are then not in a position to have to return fire so quickly. It's all about de-escalating. The same thing with wearing masks and helmet. If we took a survey of Columbus police officers hit by bricks and bottles in the face Had they not had the shield, they'd been disfigured, seriously injured throughout these past riots that now they're going to be judged on by this new committee to try to charge and discipline and fire police officers.
So what? So what are they talking about? What is there to demilitarize? The officers on the street don't have fully automatic weapons. What are they? Can they even articulate?
Yeah, the only argument I've heard so far is the fact that it just doesn't look good. So much of what they're basing their mantra on is, like a use of force. It didn't look good. That shooting didn't look good. I've been around for a long time in law enforcement, and past my 33 years on the department, I've done training or whatever for at least 40 total years, and I've yet to see a use of force or a use of deadly force that looked good. They don't. They're violent.
Right.
So anyway, they're thinking that our presence, our mere presence, like my presence on the corner when I'd let the single moms let her kids out, my presence there was threatening.
Wow. Thank you for spending the hour with us. You got to come back at some point.
I enjoyed it.
All right. Yep. Got to come back. Sorry you had to see all this.
Before we go, can I get a response from everybody out there who would be willing to see a participation in supporting law enforcement in some kind of a rally, just to get an idea of what the people out there think?
That's right. Right.
Check in with Facebook, send us emails, whatever.
We're up OnTarget at lepd.com. Thanks for spending the last hour with us. And next week, Ed, if we ever get back to guns, you have the gun of the week. So
no, it surpasses me and moves on to John now.
It surpassed you twice now. Yeah.
Well, that's okay. I had it, and you took me off of it.
Let us know if we can help. We're always available. And stay safe and speak the good word and
Peace and
speak
love.
up. Right. Have a good week.
All right, Eric, hang tight with me, and I'll get you set up for your promo.
Awesome. Yep, just you yell whenever.
All right, give me a quick test hit for me, okay?
Testing. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Anytime you're ready.
All right. Get to my page here. Okay, here we go. This is Eric from OnTarget. This week we keep you updated on the latest news, and Big Ed has the Gun of the Week, sponsored by Jackson Egress Windows. Tune in Saturday at noon or live from LAPD Studios on Bethel Road. This is Eric from OnTarget. This week we keep you updated on the latest news, and Big Ed has the Gun of the Week, sponsored by Jackson Egress Windows. Tune in tomorrow at noon or live from LAPD Studios on Bethel Road. This is Eric from OnTarget. Today we keep you updated on the latest news, and Big Ed has the Gun of the Week, sponsored by Jackson Egress Windows. Tune in today at noon or live from LAPD Studios on Bethel Road.
Hang on, Eric. Can you do that third one again?
Yep.
Yeah, sorry, my bad. I hit a button. I thought you only did 2.
That's right.
Start your
Okay, here we go. This is Eric from OnTarget. Today we keep you updated on the latest news, and Big Ed has the Gun of the Week, sponsored by Jackson Egress Windows. Tune in today at noon or live from LAPD Studios.